A catastrophic situation unfolding in the Caribbean this morning, with one island nation dealing with the aftermath of an unprecedented natural disaster.
Rescue crews are working around the clock trying to reach families trapped as officials assess the full scope of the destruction. For the latest on this developing story, let's go to our weather correspondent, Amy Metz. Amy.
Thank you. Yes, a very serious situation going on right now as currently a Category 3 storm is right over Cuba. We just saw that satellite imagery as the eye wall was getting smaller after making a landfall in Jamaica with record wind speeds of 185 miles per hour. That matches the sustained wind speed record set in 2019 by Hurricane Dorian. Now we're seeing people with a slew of messes to clean up, asking for help. And we do know there were a lot of shelters opened, over 800. So we're hoping that most people are safe. However, there were reports that people needed to be rescued from their homes in Black River, one of the hardest hit regions in St. Elizabeth Parish. You're looking right now at that area, courtesy of Sanity846 on Twitter. She is also calling for the needs of help. However, officials are looking at those immediate needs first, such as rescues, making sure people have enough food and water. And for those who were in shelters or homes that got damaged, that they have somewhere safe to go. On a good note, Kingston and the eastern portion of Jamaica were not badly affected, so there is still some power on the island. Very good news for those that need to stay in communication to get more help. However, Cuba near Guantanamo Bay had some damages, but more so just a little west of there near Santiago de Cuba. Next in line, we're looking at the forecast track in the Bahamas, where we do expect a major hurricane or close to it with wind speeds around 100 miles per hour in the next couple of days. That's going to be lasting from now through the next 36 hours with effects. Unfortunately, we've already seen 7 deaths from the storm in Haiti, in Dominican Republic from landslides, and also 3 in Jamaica preceding the landfall as people were preparing. We will be bringing you updates and hearing from people on the ground next. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Amy. We are praying for them.
Yeah. Joining us now to discuss, Bridget Bean is a former female official and visiting fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Thanks for joining us this morning, Bridget. As we just heard there from our reporter, Amy Metz, Hurricane Melissa making landfall in Jamaica yesterday afternoon as a Category 5 storm, tying with 2 other major hurricanes for having the strongest sustained winds and landfall on the record in the Atlantic Basin by both pressure and wind speed. So can you talk to us about what that means for the people who are on the ground there?
Sure, of course, and good morning. Hurricane Melissa, as you said, came ashore as a Category 5, a catastrophic storm. And really, there's so much about this storm that's impressive and unprecedented. But I think the Prime Minister said it best. There is no infrastructure in the region that can withstand a Category 5 hurricane. So the question now, the issue now is really the speed of recovery. That is the challenge. Right now, in the first 72 hours, it's really about saving lives and sustaining life. So it's search and rescue. It's providing shelter. It's making sure there's clean water and access to the remote areas on the island. So the scale of this storm is really, if we remember Maria in Puerto Rico and Dorian in the Bahamas, it really is at that level. So they have a lot of important work to do in the next 72 hours. Every hour counts in this window. There are areas of the island that are cut off because the roads are impassable, the bridges are not safe. Big boulders have fallen into the roadway. The search and rescue teams have a very difficult and dangerous exercise in front of them. And there is a number of international support that's come to bear. And it's really important to make sure that those international partners are able to help support Jamaica in these 72 hours as they look at these critical lifelines of power, water, and communication.
So Hurricane Melissa has caused extensive infrastructure damage, as you outlined, and left most of Jamaica without power, water, and reliable communications. And you also mentioned the Prime Minister. Let's listen to local government minister Desmond McKenzie.
Our shelters have seen increased numbers. There are close to 15,000 Jamaicans who have gone to various shelters across the country. We also noticed that there are communities where residents have gone and have created makeshift shelters. In most cases, we were able to get limited supplies to those persons within those shelters.
Bridget, you mentioned in your initial commentary what the priorities are in an emergency such as this. But can you actually speak to how quickly can aid realistically reach those communities if, let's say, the airport or other infrastructure is damaged?
Yeah, this is really the important question. I know that a number of organizations, the Red Cross and others, had pre-positioned resources and personnel in Jamaica so that they would be there ready when it was safe to begin the search and rescue efforts. And so what they will do now is bring in additional resources. I understand the Cajun Navy has also had resources there and will bring more. And it's really important to understand that it's not just about wind damage, but it's what we call cascading impacts. So when the power grid goes down, everything connected to it begins to fail. So water treatment plants can't pump or can't purify water, so clean drinking water disappears. So making sure that clean bottled water gets in is very important. Without that, it leads to dehydration, contaminated wells, the risk of waterborne disease. So that's really important that they are able to get to these communities that need these resources, because whatever supplies they have will only last a very limited time. With no electricity, that means there's no refrigeration, which means hospitals have to struggle to keep medicine stable, grocery stores, family refrigerators, lose food. And so all of these cascading impacts are important. So I believe that the international support is very important. It's already begun. Yeah. The Jamaican people are very resilient, but time is of the essence. So removing, debris from streets, from roads, right. It's all very interconnected.
Yeah. Absolutely. And as you mentioned, many people need life-saving medicine just to stay alive. Thanks so much, Bridget. We appreciate your commentary.
Thank you.
Joining us now, Frank Cerrito is here. He and his wife, Karen, are a couple from Oklahoma who are currently stuck in Jamaica during this devastating storm. First off, Frank, thank you so much for joining us at this hour. I know you've been going through a lot. How are you? And can you describe what it's like on the ground there?
So we're doing great. Everybody in the resort we're in is in good spirits. We kind of got lucky and skirted the main part of the hurricane. We're actually in Ocho Rios, which is north central part of the island, and we did see some high winds and some stuff, a little bit of debris around here. We talked to some of the locals who actually are working at the resorts, and they said that they've had some damage on their homes, but for the most part, they're okay here. Now we've seen Montego Bay, which is not far from here, and we've seen a lot of damage there. And, a lot of those people are in a lot worse shape than we are. And so we feel lucky that we kind of missed the brunt of it here.
Got it.
What have you heard from the U.S. or local officials there in terms of the steps that you need to do to stay safe, as well as any communication in terms of what the plan is once the hurricane passes?
We haven't heard much yet. We registered with the government to let them know that we were here, and I think they're sending us some emails and stuff on how we need to proceed. But as of this morning, we really haven't had a lot of information, but we're hoping that they're going to kind of give us some ideas of what we can do. The airport's being shut down and everything, and we're actually here longer than we should be anyway. So we're looking for some guidance on where we need to go. I'll tell you that the staff of the resort here has been great. They've been through this before, and they're very helpful as well. And they're kind of trying to give us some ideas on when the airports might open and which airports we might be able to access, because I'm pretty sure that Montego Bay is going to be shut down for a while.
Wow. Frank, in moments like these, when you're facing a lot of uncertainty that you just described, what's giving you and your wife, Karen, strength and comfort at this moment?
The people that are stuck at the resort with us, we're keeping each other sane. We met another couple from Oklahoma here, And so we've had a lot to talk about. We have a lot of common, but there's people from other parts of the world here as well. So for me, it's interesting because I get to ask them about, hey, what's it like in your country and stuff like that. So just having conversations, the staff keeping us, calm. They actually, during the hurricane yesterday, they had some things going on, activities in one of the rooms here to kind of keep everybody's mind off of it. So everybody's mind is on it, obviously, because I've never been through something like this. So I was kind of worried, but basically the people here have been great, and the staff here too.
I'm glad you and your wife were able to actually find comfort among strangers who are now possibly have become friends. Thank you so much, and always stay safe.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Coming up, we'll go live to South Korea for the latest on President Trump's historic Asia trip.
Stay tuned. More First Edition only on N2 straight ahead.